Our way today to historic Virginia City that sprang up due to the Comstock lode mining boom. Even in the middle of nowhere,
this is cool.
There is something going on.
I didn't expect it to be down in like this.
Me neither.
I thought it would be a little bit different. It's amazing to me. Look how the mountains are.
I know, we're just like cradled.
We don't even have mountains in the east.
And what's going to be around this curve?
There's a sign of something.
More of the same.
You always read about the railroad.
That's for the
There's a big sign there for something.
that bell back there was for some emergency announcement.
That's the courthouse, Mom.
Oh, that would be interesting to go into.
It looked pretty modern. Look at the way that cliff is cut.
7/10 of a mile to Virginia City Historic District.
Wow, what a place.
Well, here we are in Virginia City. Let's see what it looks like in the Bonanza Land and Cattle Company, which looks to be a restaurant and bar. Holy smokes. You can see right out the back of the place to the mountains. It's beautiful. All right, let's carry on. Bar with the 100-mile view. We're going to take a look at that right now. That's quite the view. I guess that ridge line out there is supposed to be 100 miles away. Slowly making our way down another part of Virginia City. Later today, we're going to go down the hill several streets and catch a ride on the Virginia Truckee Railroad tour. That should be nice. Probably the finest store you're going to run into in Virginia City is the Old Red Garter. They really have quality stuff. I am not lying. Just check it out. Really high quality leather products. This stuff is so soft. So useful too. I recommend this place. Mighty fine collection of boots here. Size 13, that'd be about what I'd have to have if I were to buy some of these. But I'm not really a cowboy boot man. They got some wonderful hats here. Stetson, that's a big name. Resistals. Fancy, fancy. Mighty nice. Wow. At the Palace Restaurant and Saloon. And here we are, waiting on a train. From back in the day, if any of you all remember any old Western movies, this was a self-propelled railroad car. You'd hold on to this handle up here and work it up and down. You'd work these gears, which were connected to a wheel, and move yourself man-powered down a railroad. I always thought that would be fun to do, but at the same time, I always worried, what do you do if you're propelling yourself down a railroad when a train is coming? Well, we have arrived at the Truckee train station. We're taking the 3 o'clock train. I already have my tickets. We'll give you a look at what the place looks like. Now, you can buy tickets for this Virginia Truckee Railroad train ride, either up in Virginia City proper on the main track, or you can go to this little building here and buy your tickets here. It's $18 for adults, and you can look online and find out the other prices. And here she comes. Short little train. Still gonna be a fun ride. The Virginia and Truckee Railroad. Queen of the short lines. Take a little gander, a little closer.
All aboard.
This open car in the hot sun, which I am not going to do. I'm going for the covered car with the nice open windows.
notice that steam locomotive there. That locomotive happens to be B&T number 11, the Reno. She was built back in 1872. Started her service life up here on the railroad, pulling a train that they called the Lightning Express. Now, it was an express train that would leave Virginia City here at 7 p.m. would arrive in San Francisco the very next morning at 11 a.m. I know you guys are really good at math, so you're probably already thinking, wow, 16 hours? That doesn't seem very quick at all. Of course, you'd be right. But I would like to remind you that this was the 1870s. Back then, even lightning moved slower. Now, the locomotive has also gone on to star in more than 100 films and TV shows throughout her life. We reacquired her back in 2021. Well, in the end, they all gave each other the shaft. But that mine shaft that was in operation was actually the deepest mine in the world, which is a depth of 3,265 feet. Of course, when you go that deep into the earth, you do run into a whole lot of problems. The biggest problem for that mine was millions of gallons of scalding hot water. The water temperatures inside that mine, well, they can reach about 190 degrees Fahrenheit, which up at this elevation is almost the boiling point for water. Their water problem was so bad, in fact, that they had to pump about 4 million gallons of that scalding hot water. We actually use those coaches for our long train between Carson City and Virginia City on the weekends. It's a nice little excursion train. Basically, we're bringing it from Carson City. Allow you to spend about 3 hours in Virginia City and then take you back down the mountain to Carson City. My favorite trees that grow out here. There's that one right there. And then there's that one over there. Ooh, look at this one right here. It's cool too. But the two main types of trees that you do see growing out here are the pinyon pine and the mountain juniper. Now, the pinyon pine happens to be the one that looks more like a Christmas tree. It's also the one that has the pine cones on it. These pinyon pine trees out here can actually make it up to a height of about 2 stories tall. Some of them can even go as high as 3 stories tall. Like the red-tailed hawk and the mountain bluebirds. Even those creatures you can cuddle with. And that, of course, is the bobcats and the mountain lions. Just so you know, yes, you can cuddle with them. Once. Yeah. Backwards. Now, if you guys are afraid of the dark, I do recommend that you close your eyes. But this tunnel that we're in now is our tunnel number 4. As I mentioned earlier, it's one of 2 tunnels we still use on the route today. This particular tunnel is 465 feet long. It was dug entirely by hand by the Chinese laborers that worked up here. Said that on a really good day, they could actually average 3 feet of depth further into this tunnel. Which honestly, I think is pretty impressive. I don't know if any of you have ever tried to dig a hole in the dirt before, but it can be really hard to do, especially by hand. But unfortunately, it was too dangerous to do so. So we basically had to create this permanent detour that goes around this tunnel. Now, this detour that we're on now happens to be the only part of the route we travel on today that wasn't part of the original B&T route. But honestly, going around the tunnel isn't so bad. You do get some pretty great views of the town of Gold Hill below us to the east there. Probably noticed that round building out there. It says Gold Hill Hotel and Saloon on the side of it. That hotel was built back in 1859. The reason I call it Gold Canyon is because that was the site of the first gold discovery up here way back in 1859. After gold was discovered up here, populations of both Gold Hill and Virginia City pretty much exploded. For those of you that can see, you probably noticed that that end of the tunnel is in much better shape than the other end.